Hello everybody and welcome to another mystery box function challenge. In the purple mystery box there's some math and your challenge is to figure out what it is. You can try this out by using the link in the description, and when you think you've got an idea, come on back and see if we get the same thing. All right, let's start with a 0. Okay, 0 gives us 0. How about 1? Oh my goodness, what is that? Well, that's basically 0. It's 3 point something with an exponent of -18. So just a very, very, very small number, super close to 0, might as well be 0. I think we've seen one like this before, so I have some suspicions. I'm just going to put in a couple more numbers, though. One just like that, basically 0. So let's look in between. So I'm going to put in, I don't know, 1/4. That's up. Oh, that's up at over 2. How about 1/2? That's at 3. Okay. Let's look at 3/4. So you got any ideas about this? I'm going to put in 3/2 as well. Yeah, and that's down at -3. Okay. Let me just put in a couple of negative values. I'm going to put in -1/2. And maybe -1. Yeah. So it looked a little funny at first as we put in each of those values. We basically got 0, but something is happening in between. And what I think is happening is that we have a trigonometric waveform here. So I think this is the sine, because it is at 0, it's 0. But there is a multiplier to make the frequency higher. So let's just think about sine for a minute. So we're going to plug in an angle, that's our x, and we're going to get out the x and y coordinates of where that line intersects the circle, the unit circle. So here it's 1, 0, and sine is the y. So it's going to be 0 at an angle of 0. Up here we have pi over 2, and over here we have pi. At pi, the sine is also going to be 0. At pi over 2, it's going to be 1, or the highest it gets. In this case, I think we've got a multiplier because we're getting up to 3. So I'm going to just write down a note that our multiplier is probably 3 here, because it goes up to 3 and down to -3. And then there is a multiplier inside as well. So what kind of multiplier is going to make this be 0 every point, every integer be 0? Well, I think that's where it reaches pi or pi over 2, because those are the two places it's 0. So it starts out at 0, here it reaches pi, but this is just at 1. So what's our multiplier? Well, at 1, we're getting a number that looks like it should come out at pi. So I think our multiplier is actually pi times x. So let's think a little bit about how that might work. So here is this point up here. It's at a +3 at 1/2. So let's put in 1/2. 3 times the sine of pi times 1/2. Well, that's pi over 2. And pi over 2, sine is 1. So this part is 1. Sorry, this part is 1. The sine of pi over 2 is 1. Times 3 is going to be 3. And you could do the same thing with 3/2, giving you 3 pi over 2, and that's where the sign is going to be -1 way down here. But I think we've got that. So two multipliers, one inside the parentheses to smash this together and increase the frequency of the function, and one outside, this 3 out here, to make it go up and down further, increasing the amplitude of the waveform. So I'm satisfied with this. I'm going to take a look. Yeah, 3 times the sine of pi x, and we can graph that as well. I think we can graph that. There we go. Yeah, crazy. Really quick, tall, back and forth of the sine function. Well, how did that go for you? I think there were a lot of layers there. That was pretty tricky. Let me know. Thanks, everybody.